Right. I'm not sure if anybody has a record of the drunkest you've been in your entire life. It's been a long life, Atrophinius.
It's been an immortal life.
I'm going to lose my hearing on this stream, by the way. Anyway, hello! Welcome to the Friday live stream for Rift.
Greetings, mortals!
Here we have Captain Cursor. Cole, I think we're going to have to change his name to Atrophinius because we obviously have a little bit of possession going on here.
I was asked to do this character.
Yep, and it's, yeah, Cursorphinius, yes, that would be great. Right, here we go. We have a ton of awesome questions from you guys from the forums, and these are amazing questions. What I really want to do now is have some sort of an internship that'll go through, collect, collate, transcribe, and put together...
Don't say that! They'll be flooding us with applications.
Well,
we don't have an
internship. That's true. That's true. Anyway, there is so much lore in this game, and I would love to have it together all in one place. I'm Brasse the Dwarf. I'll be your Atrophinius control expert during this stream.
And I am Atrophinius, taking a break from filling out XML files.
Meaning that he was looking for any excuse to get out of the heavy workload that they've got going on right now.
Quite.
Couple of things before we get started. As you know, we're not going to be talking about Rift Prime here, and that's because people are at their desks working really hard on one of two things. Rift Prime or the preparations for Carnival and Rift's 8th anniversary, which is coming up sooner than you might think.
Has it really been 8 years since we've been live?
It's insane, isn't it?
And I mean, counting the years that I started working on it, my young one was about to enter kindergarten. Now he's in high school, all while working on Rift.
It's pretty crazy, that's for sure. Also, the dog behind us, that's Griff.
I believe that is an Ewok of some kind.
It may be an Ewok, yes. And let's see. We want to mention that after this stream, please, if you're a Rift player, please go over to twitch.tv/KilariCuddles. She is showing the winners of the Fayule Dimension contest right after our stream. And that's been, there are some fantastic entries. What is this dog doing?
I believe it is vomiting up the mead I gave it.
Oh my god, that would explain much. Anyway, so tune in to KilariCuddles' channel after this is over, unless you're staying to watch the Trove stream. A couple of things we want to mention as well. If you could switch to the other screen, Cole. So we have the Blazin Snail, or Blazin Snail, super fast mount, 160%, has just been released. It's part of the supply crates, so totally optional purchase thing. I have to admit that I buy the supply crates largely to collect up all the prize tickets so I can get something that I really want, even if I don't get the snail. If we could go to the other tab, please. In case you guys have not noticed, we've started making quality of life updates. This is one that Tacitus has put together, the first one, the Eternal Weapon Nerf. And this is a nerf that works entirely in your favor, and people have been very, very happy about this. I've seen people log into my player guild who haven't been on for a long time, and I actually have a chance of getting an Eternal Weapon upgraded now, which makes me very happy.
I also believe that it prevents you from getting stuck in some kind of bad, frustrating state.
Is that right?
That, I believe, was the start of it.
All right, that's great. You can expect to see a lot more of these quality of life updates going on. Those are being worked on specifically by Tacitus and Rough Raptors, or Epsary as he's known to some people. We all know who he is, and by the way, happy birthday, Rough Raptors. Always good to know.
It is his birthday today?
Every day.
That has not happened since last week's stream.
I know, right? Okay, so I have all of these questions, and Atrophinius is on the PTS server, and he is going to be in Silverwood, and he's going to start some sort of an event. All right, so we shall switch
I believe the call to adventure starts here in the Blunted Quill.
The Blunted Quill. Wow, it's been a long time since I've been there.
Well, that was the point. We've been talking about, not that I'm answering questions about Prime, but I've been working here a lot, and it's made me nostalgic for the old days. So I've set the invasions to like 300%, and we will fight like in days of old to prevent the Marsh House from falling.
I see.
If other people would join me, I will start an event.
Well, like, what does 300% mean? 300% of what?
Well, actually, it's more like 200%.
Okay.
Because I've forced the population of the zone to be incredibly high.
All right. Okay. Are you ready to start answering questions while you're getting this going? This is going to be a real challenge for you.
Of course.
Okay, first question. Sona Moena asks, what can you tell us about Pallas? She's one of the bad futures that Aya thinks will come if we don't stop Cosmologist Man. She has a pet devil. She looks very much like Asha. One of the not Orpheals in Vostigar Peaks mistook Asha for her, I think. Inquiring minds want to know.
I think you have picked up on all the plot clues that Captain of Cursors have left. Perhaps you will see something more about her at the end of Prime. I don't necessarily want to spoil anything else.
Uh-huh. Wow, okay, so you're gonna get a lot of this stay tuned stuff, I can tell already.
Well, no, the mortal here has picked up on all the plot threads that were dropped, and I am glad she wants more, for there will be more.
Mordrahan, adding on to this, are Pallas and the immortal Empress Anket speaks of the same entity? And another thing, is the Aya name an acronym?
The answer to the first one is yes.
Okay.
The answer to the second one is no.
Okay. So Pallas is the
Pallas is the immortal Empress.
Okay. But Aya is not an acronym.
She is not an... What god would be an acronym? Other than perhaps some god of computation.
Yes, exactly.
Which Aya is most definitely not.
I am fairly sure. Yes, exactly. The god of Twitter is probably has an acronym. All right, Raceland asks, would it be possible if we could see more lore backstory on the Bloodstorm Wars from all those many years ago, and more info on the heroes of that time?
Yes, although we did have an entire event. Sorry, dev client.
Dev client. That's all you can tell.
Stupidest. Ah!
Atrophinius
But Atrophinius cannot be cheated.
Atrophinius is on the PTS server in the Silverwood Zone.
While we're waiting for this event, let us clear the scourge of, let's see, the Storm Legion.
The scourge of, let's see.
I don't want to fight the air footholds. I quite like them, even though they are probably of that wretch Hylas' doing.
If you guys are having errors updating PTS, please put in a CS ticket. And if you're crashing for any reason, make sure that you upload the crash logs to your ticket as well. Okay, so again, we're on PTS server in the Silverwood Zone. I'm going to take them out in a second. But now, the lore backstory on the Bloodstorm Wars?
I believe we had an entire event of the Bindings of Blood.
And where is that from?
Detailed that. That was when we had the raids, the Bindings of Blood of all of the 4 dragons that had been killed at the time. And we returned there to see how the original heroes who bound them detailed that. Other than that, I am not sure how much time we will have for that, but perhaps soon.
Open says, any plans to repurpose Port Scion? Imagine the taxes from reopening it for, you know, port business.
There is not any plans to open it as a working city, but we always talk about what can we do with the parts that still exist. I was just saying the other day how during the alpha of Rift, an intrepid player, skilled in parkour, managed to get into Port Scion and was impressed with how huge and the majesty of it. And then immediately was like, how would you fill this all with content? And that is the real question of it. Port Scion was always large and in charge, but for the adventures that could go on there was something we always struggled with. So, in many respects, we have chopped up Port Scion and made it into the cities you know today of Sanctum and Meridian. So just re-releasing what we had in mind, even if it were finished, is not really something we can do.
Well, people are saying that they can't hear me over the phones.
Oh wait, before you turn it down! Anyway, continue.
Okay. Raceland asks, are we ever going to see the Vigil gods in game? Or what happened to them? Where they went? Why are they not more involved? A definite piece of evidence on whether they are even still alive or not.
That comes down to a question of faith.
Are
Sounds like a Defiant wrote this question.
Or maybe a Vigil dude who wants to see his gods.
Perhaps, but that is a question. Dost thou follow the dictates of his faith, or dost thou demand evidence for everything? Such a doubting Thomas.
Indeed. Okay, that is the best non-answer I have ever heard in my life. Okay, Saren.
I was raised Catholic.
I am going to take Griff back to the cube so that he can have a nice lie down. Saren asks, I'll take a 30-minute Lorestream all about the typical daily food intake of Greenscale. I'll be right back.
Oh, the typical daily food of that fat toad?
I'll be right back.
Greenscale is notorious for eating any creature that crawled, flies, or walks upon the earth. Perhaps a cookbook thing. There has been talks of maybe doing more cooking-related content. So perhaps we will make a Greenscale-themed turducken. Or, if thou hast gone through Zothmaya, I believe his favorite food was a Frau var Heraquerde. You should ask, what's a Frau var Heraquerde?
Actually, we had that on when we had a Rift Trivia stream going on. And that is a meal made out of...
a frug?
Yes.
A var?
Yes.
A squirrel?
Yes.
No. A Hericuospore, a squirrel,
Yes.
and a Tuathe.
There you go.
Hide the marsh house!
It's got to be the new Thanksgiving feast that we're all going to enjoy.
We must defend the marsh house.
Robazlol asks, what is that race he is? Is that something new? No, that's Atrophinius, who is a demigod in this world, and often inhabited by Captain Cursor. They have a shared love of...
Mead!
Obviously really large barrels of mead.
Barrels? Lightweight.
Holy Roller wants to know, what's the lore behind killing Greenscale a third time?
A third time? There was once where you fought him in Bindings of Blood and bound him. And then there was once when he was defeated. Although, accounts differ. Either a gigantic group of the Ascended did it, or I helped. One or the other.
Okay.
I thought it might have been a mead hangover dream.
Rip, we haven't announced when the 4.4 update is yet. Stay tuned for that. And the carnival will be at usual carnival time, right around Rift's anniversary. And let's see, Holy Roller also asks, as someone who is generally confused by which dragons are actually dead and which ones aren't, what dragons have we actually killed and which ones were just avatars? I'm sure someone else could explain it, but I want to hear it from the master.
Only that wretch Crucia has escaped consistently.
There you go. Crucia does have a habit of coming back to haunt us, annoy us.
I believe she spends more times with her escape plans than her world domination plans.
Well, I think that's pretty smart, actually. Okay. Riyadh asks, what's the deal with Talara's afterlife these days? In the bits of the Plane of Fire we've seen, it looks like the Plane of Fire acts as a sort of hell, a place where damned souls go. This seems to run counter to previous lore indicating that all the dead souls from Talara go to the Soul Stream. Is it just those on the Vigil's naughty list that go to the Plane of Fire and the rest go to the Soul Stream? Or is there some other way this works?
Souls first travel the Soul Stream, but those who are the most wretched and evil are often cast into the condemned fields of flame. But that is at the end of their long journey, after they have been judged.
Who does the judging?
Depends. Who hast thou bound your soul to?
Got it. And the thing about the 25 particles, it is difficult to change, and please follow along on the forums where Tacitus is definitely following up on requests for various quality of life changes. Alrighty. Mizuki Ayu, who is a well-known lore aficionado.
She is indeed.
Indeed.
One of the camps from St. Tyrannus, one of the lore hounds there.
Yes, definitely. Is the Infinity's Gate location, as seen in Mathosia, an indication of the direction of Bravane and Duskin, or is the Porticulum map, minus the plane of water and celestial lands, an accurate representation of geographical location?
Hast thou ever seen the underground pathways in the city known as Londinium?
Yes.
The representation of that was more useful than accurate.
I see. I see. Okay. We're going to get a lot of those ambiguous answers.
It's not ambiguous.
Oh, it's totally ambiguous.
If you were trying to ride the underground subway of Londinium and wanted to know what stop, a very hyper-realistic map would be impossible to use.
Because it's perhaps a different form of reality anyway.
Not a different reality, but it helps structure the... Atrophinius teaches user experience and information design.
Okay. Mizuki continues.
Must rage against...
the machine?
Yes.
Okay.
North Argent Glade may fall, but the Marsh House will stay. Forever.
Forever. Is the Uithraj, Lord of Suffering, who attacks Rockbridge and Scarlet Gorge, the same Uithraj, Mailforge's whipping boy, that Boldock mentions in Tartaric Depths? He's reading.
I am reading this. I believe it is at least a family name. To be honest, those are two I did not put in, so I do not know the designer's intent. But yes, it sounds like there is at least a familial name.
Okay.
Because in Rockridge, those were very Mailforge-centric creatures.
And next, are dimensions canon? Do Ascended have the ability to create and maintain pocket planes?
Of course, they have all those dimensions, which are being judged on Kalari Cuddle's stream.
There you go.
After we defend Silverwood and the Marsh House from these invasions.
What happens to Ascended's bodies when we resurrect at a graveyard and receive a new body? Is there a job to clean up Ascended litter?
I believe that the skeleton that was remained back disappears quite quickly.
Okay.
Therefore, whatever you mortals did to ascend you, or what the gods did to ascend you, has a process that cleans it up. Otherwise, there would be nothing but corpses maintaining an entire pile, and it would all look like Duskin or Ceratos.
Good point. Is Feragnos from the Comet of Ankhet raid, the dragon from Mount Pyre, Burnpuss referred to in Battle of St. Tyrannus, or is that Sharagoth, or another dragon?
Hold on.
Yes.
Comet of Ankhet raid, dragon. No. Okay. Sharagoth was a different dragon, one that escaped. Feragnos, Mount Pyre contained many dragons at one point. It was the prison for what the devils wished to get rid of their plane when they purged it of Mailforge's influence.
Okay.
For once Mailforge was bound, his power began to wane in the plane of fire, and the devils wished to ascend and take what they saw as their rightful place in the plane. But there were always adherents. All of this politics stuff of the plane of fire can be quite complex.
All these people are saying that you're way, way louder than me. Is there a way that we can fix this?
We can change the way sound
Can
works.
speak more softly.
Very well.
Or Brasse can speak.
I shall whisper.
Or I can speak more loudly? Is that what you're saying?
I will whisper.
Fine,
and
fine,
she
fine.
will speak in
All right, no, that's great. All right.
Moving the mic will have no effect.
Fine, 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 fine.
I could sit
Dwarf
at the back
can
of the
fix
room.
this. And what? It will still echo through
It
there.
will still echo through.
Okay, that's just getting too loud. All right, so here's a challenging one for you. Is hiding armor via wardrobe canon? As in, try to explain that.
Again, we are talking about an interface. I would say canon is whatever it looks like you are wearing, but maybe you have cast an illusion. Some form of glamour that the Fae are prone.
All right.
One way or the other. So either you are wearing what you are wearing, or you are wearing something underneath and cast an illusion. Either way, with the strength of over 20,000, most ascended sport these days, you do well in battle.
Yes, indeed. Next question from Mizuki, because she sent a lot. Do Ascended need to eat?
Obviously. With such things, the flavor, the taste. Who could go without that? If thou wants to see how long you can last with starvation, when you are raised from the dead by magical or scientific means, by all means run that experiment. But I would think that a life without food and drink is not one worth living.
So here's one, not by Mizuki, but how come Ascended never need to poop?
They do it off camera when you log out. Your character immediately runs away and
Okay.
when holding it in, I'll raid.
Okay. So, what is the significance of the wings of the High Elves' racial angelic flight?
The significance was originally that they were closer to the Vigil.
Okay. And is that sort of a glamour that they retain, or?
It was a early trick taught by high elves to each other, much as the Kalari teach how to change into a fox.
Okay. All right. Felix wants to know, there might be an answer to this, but what happened to Miela? What was her ultimate fate? Is she still floating around out there somewhere?
You mean her soul? Or her body? Her body is being worn by that dragon fascist Crucia as a meat suit.
As a meat suit.
Trapped, mind of the dragon trapped within this body of a woman,
And
unable to escape.
And what about the mind and the soul of Miela?
The mind and the soul perhaps floats through the soul stream, hopefully to find rest. Or perhaps it is still there, trapped underneath Crucia's machinations and power. And if Crucia ever leaves, she could come back only to discover in horror what she has experienced all this time. I prefer to think that she is gone and found rest.
That would be interesting.
But with the torture that these dragons do, I would imagine that Crucia has just imprisoned her. Oh, Narladon is up! I need to finish my saga.
All right, Narladon. I'll give you a second to run over there. Are you going to cheaty face over there?
Yeah!
Yes. Wow. Elegant running style. Really.
I am breaking every animation in the game. Now I will jump. Woo! Woo!
Ensign Skippy is asking, will Torva and the Hunters make an appearance anytime soon?
Well, if you want to relive your experience with Torva and the Hunters, I've just spent quite enough time making sure you will get to play through it again on Rift Prime. Nope, I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
Perhaps that was not anytime soon, but we keep in mind how much people liked fighting those rifts.
Right.
Well, thank you, Mr. 70 Levels. That made it an awesome fight.
That's... That's exactly
It was
what...
a real hero's journey fighting Narladon there. Thank you so much.
Actually, that's one of Dead Simon's pet peeves as well, is when you're in a low-level zone and people come in as a level 70 and don't mentor down and and come and kill stuff. Okay, no comment. Sky asks, where does Aya stand in the fire hierarchy compared to Mailforge?
On one hand, you have a massive fireworm capable of rendering souls and destroying entire worlds. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, you have the goddess of fate itself, who is able to shape the reality of the entire multiverse that Rift is in.
Okay.
Mailforge was her servant.
Right. Insanitium, here is a question. In the Unstable Spooky Book, it is mentioned that Regulus is not the Master of Death. Does this Master of Death have a name?
When thou collects all those unstable artifacts, I believe those are the ones from alternate pathways of fate, are they not? Or perhaps it hints to something deeper that we have not gotten to yet.
Very, very interesting.
Oftentimes, the writers in this game like to leave themselves little strings to pull on for later, and don't necessarily have an answer until they get there.
Okay.
Because if they were to write it all down, and it got cut for various boring production reasons, they would just have us sad.
I see Honey Beaver in the chat. Hey, thanks again for doing our live stream for us last week. That was really fun to watch. Honey Beaver asks if Carnival is the next event or if there's one before. Carnival is indeed the next event that's coming up. We will, of course, have something going on for Valentine's Day, but it's not a major event like Carnival is. Baladin asks, or says here, in Vanilla Rift, Regulus was presented as the main bad guy of Rift. He features in both starting experiences and is frequently referenced in game, along with big events such as Corrupting Cain. Is he still present in the universe, or did we actually destroy him completely? If this is so, then why is he no longer the big bad?
I believe a group of intrepid Ascended went into the endless eclipse of his realm and destroyed him. What kind of adventurers would they be if every time they fought someone, that being escaped? And I think I have crashed.
Okay. Pleased to be put on the non-crashed screen, Cole. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, nothing to see here.
Oh, I have crashed big time.
All right. Complete reset.
No.
Okay. He's dealing with that. Oh. Got it. Oh,
yes.
There we go. All right, we're back in action.
Dev clients.
What? Dev clients are our favorite clients. Okay. And adding to your challenge, Crucia has featured in every expansion to this point. Why is Crucia such a central figure to the game? Does the team think perhaps it's time to put her story to rest? Yeah, I'm not a particularly big fan of Crucia or all the robots in a fantasy game.
Then you are a guardian.
Hey, but...
Fist bump.
So, do you think that Crucia actually took some inspiration from the Defiance, and that she grew in the mechanical direction because of that?
The actual answer is that air is very hard to represent with creatures that you stab in the face. So a decision was made that we would make Crucia go in the lightning way.
Okay.
And lightning implies metal and things that work through electricity. And thus, we pushed hard on all the robots that she has. It also works out that in some traditions, air is not listed as an element, and instead it is metal. So we conflated those and gave her the steel of the Storm Legion.
Okay.
And that is why we represent it that way. But in fantasy, they are oftentimes not robots, but golems and animated through magic.
Right.
And even when they are, it is probably a combination of sorcery and super science, one of the greatest lines ever penned in a rather mediocre cartoon.
There go. Baladin continues with, will there be any continuation of the storylines and characters from the initial 4 zones? The Elf Queen and the Fire Lady from Ashenfell, the Fae and the Kobolds?
That will depend on where we adventure next, and that often brings out any dangling threads we want to bring back.
May I suggest that we go investigate the plane of Earth? Because otherwise I'll just make your dev client crash somewhere.
I have an entire write-up of the plane of Earth made.
And
then it got cut.
Who do I need to talk to about that?
You need to talk to Time, the cosmic rhinoceros.
Oh, somebody had asked in the chat earlier when we get a cosmic rhinoceros mount. Hey, Arconix, I know that you're out there watching this. Cosmic rhinoceros mount?
I believe Art does not like the cosmic rhinoceros because he has 6 legs, and when he walks around, not all 6 legs hit the ground.
All right.
So, a cosmic entity that you ride? Perhaps. Something that is rhinoceros-esque? Perhaps.
Rhinoceros. Oh, come on. 6-legged mount. That's got to be a cool challenge.
Oh, I bet it is a cool challenge.
We have spiders. Spiders have 8 legs.
Spiders have 8 legs out here. The cosmic rhinoceros has 8 legs in here, and it's a different thing. Look, I'm just channeling what I have heard about animating a creature like that across our rather lumpy terrain.
Surely we could make a creature that paces like camels do and that many trotting horses
How much money and time do you want to spend on one mount?
What
do we cut for all this?
I don't know. I'm just advocating.
I would love a cosmic rhinoceros mount. No one has asked to make everything cosmic colored and rhinoceros shaped more than me.
Okay.
But there are actually some good reasons not to do that. That said, I would like a cosmic rhinoceros mount too.
Okay. Baladin continues. Tazuel seems to be a polarizing character. Do you think perhaps the decision to have him grow up in game rather than be born with a degree of wisdom already instilled was a good idea? Sadly, I find his tween-like character and voice to be quite grating. Counterpoint.
Look, buddy, I wrote it because I had a tween at the time.
God. And you wanted to share it with the world.
And I wanted to share it with the world. Otherwise, if you're going to have a character that is fully formed and doesn't grow, how does that work in drama?
That's true. Okay, and final question from Baladin, or comment here, is lore-wise, which race would make a good choice to be playable by the players? Boglings seem the most likely, or perhaps kobolds. Sobex would be funny. Other people were in there earlier suggesting satyrs, seeing as they saw you running around.
These are all good lore decisions for a race.
I would love to have a satyr race. Little goat horns.
That sounds awesome.
Neat legs.
Yes.
The artists would freak out because they'd have to figure out how to make the costumes fit.
We would probably have to delay whatever that was and work on nothing else art-wise for like 3 years. Because to do that, we'd have to shape every single piece of armor in the game that exists onto this weird body.
All right. Weird bodies are challenging. There you go.
Which is probably why we don't have draconians.
And a couple of times people have asked, why are all
Where's the zone event? Just give me the zone event.
I think you should, submit some feedback to the devs about that.
Oh, this is a slap in the face.
A number of people have asked why all of the current big bads are female.
Probably because I wanted to write some female characters, and when one introduces characters, you generally introduce the villain because they get the screen time.
Okay, gotcha. Or maybe...
I wanted to write a buddy scene between 2 females, so it was Carly and Ambriel.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted a big tower, and we talked about how a tower would be represented, and it just came out female, and I liked that. I can put more dudes in, but... There's been a lot of dudes.
There's been a lot of dudes, right. Well, that feeds kind of into the next question, starting with...
By the way, people in Silverwood, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah, stop following this guy. Does he
lead,
like
I follow.
Oh, my God. Okay, so, speaking of Carly, Cloud asks, what is Carliaz Djala up to now after we thwarted her plans or her plans in the Tartaric depths?
I believe she is trying to put together another all-star team of evil gods for a pantheon, like she did before, except maybe this time don't let the Ascended in to thwart the plans. Oh my god, we just lost the feed.
That's okay. No, it's there. So, Mizuki says, you didn't link tower with mail? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Well, it's an infinite tower. It's a tower filled with infinity inside.
Ah. Well, there you go. And Cloud also wants to...
Plus, we have enough penis jokes in Plain Touch Wild. So.
That's...
Have you been there?
I'll just be over here.
Just look at every single rock. And there's a slight phallus in it. And by slight, sometimes I mean blatantly obvious.
Carrying on, can you give us more insight into how source magic works? You mentioned that you have ironed out the details.
Oh, you want me to talk the scientific explanation of source magic? All right.
I love it. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Atrophinius went to cosmology school for a sec. So, this is how it works. The power in Source Stone is because when matter is in one dimension, let's say the plane of fire, it has different properties. Plane of fire works on things like sin and desire, and all these things are physically manifested in there. Those same rules do not occur in the plane of life or the plane or the material plane that Talara is located in. So when you take such elementally charged matter and bring it from one plane to the other, the rules of existence radiate off, and that causes energy, magical and scientific energy that can be harnessed and used for other purposes. The problem is that if one were to explosively drain the energy from it, it would cause an uncontrolled reaction that would move forth and destroy everything throughout all of creation.
Okay.
Which is what the Tenebrians have been doing, and that's how they powered themselves after their universe had burnt itself out and there was nothing else left.
There you have it.
But you want to know the horrible thing about it?
Okay.
Yes. This thing actually exists as a theory about our universe, and that is one thing that they worry might end the universe. The most scary thing is they think it could already be happening, just very far away, and we would not know it until the shockwave hit us, and all of the rules of physics would end, and we would all be burned to a crisp.
As long as it's after happy hour, I'm fine with that.
Yes, which is why Atrophinius drinks so much mead.
All right, on a completely different tack, Cloud also asks, how many Akvan could an Akvan if an Akvan could Akvan?
Considering they bend and shrink all of the space in the universe and prefer a universe back at the moments after it was created, a smaller, more compact universe, they probably can Akvan about 10 to the 9273 Akvans. And yes, that means they are smaller than a Planck unit. Captain Cursor has just outed himself as a defiant.
How do you balance the Captain Cursor, who is very mechanically minded and defiant, with Atrophinius, who is clearly all on the spiritual, natural side of things?
It's called writing. Or acting.
All right.
Which is why Atrophinius does puppet shows.
What does Aya think about the time travel shenanigans that ensued in Vostigar Peaks?
I think the time travel shenanigans that ensued in Vostigar Peaks is the reason Aya is trying to destroy all mortal life.
Got it. Oh, here's a good one. Is Ankhet primarily the tower with the rest of the comet formed around her, or is Ankhet the entirety of the comet, expanding herself as she rips out portions of the planes?
First one, then the other.
There you go. Let's see, last question from Cloud. Why hasn't Anket sent an invasion force into Solaria itself to divert the Ascended away from her comment?
Perhaps she already has sent an invasion force, but you Ascended have not uncovered who they are yet.
Really?
Well, she can create simulacrums of,
okay. Is that a hint as to where the story's going next?
As much as I ever hint anything.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
On the work side of things, I know that you have a lot of ideas, and what happens? You go into a dev meeting and they're deciding what to do, and you say, here's all my ideas, and the team all decides what is going to be pursued? Or
So, how it works is someone at the top has a very broad idea about what they want.
Okay.
Usually like, we would like one zone, because we're going to try doing one zones and see if we can have a pace like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, so you were thinking Plain Touched Wilds or something? And they'll go, yes. And I'm like, great, I'll work with Plain Touched Wilds. So the artists and myself and some other designers will sit around and go, what does Plain Touched Wilds mean? What does Plain Touched in the Wilds mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then someone goes, well, it's the Bami, and they're kind of like, you know, have very Mongolian names, and that's what Ms. Doom Cookie was setting them up culturally to be more like. So how about large steps? And then someone else will go, you know what I really liked? I liked the 2-level things. We should do some of that. And so an artist would draw up that, and we'd go, yes, let's do that. And then fast forward 6 months from now, we'll all go, oh God, let's never do that again. That was just way too much work. We'll do it smaller next time. Narrator's voice. We did it just as big the next time.
Yes. But I don't think you guys can restrain yourselves.
Anyway.
The creativity just runs away with itself on this team.
Basically, it's a process in going back and forth through various people to meet various goals. How big it is, what it's supposed to accomplish, what systems are going to be in there, how much planner PvP war we want to do this time. Narrator's voice, we always cut the planner PvP even though we always want to do it. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Zaya Darkmist, be careful where you go with this answer. Zaya Darkmist asked, what is with the king cuddling a sheep in the throne in Shalkorva and ignoring the half-naked chick sitting at his feet? Be very careful.
When you're the king and you've had it all, you grow bored with simple pleasures.
All right.
Or that is the source of his wealth, and he is stroking it like a puppy. Yes, that's the official answer.
I think that's a good idea. You know,
everything else is the process of your mead-addled mind.
Yeah, maybe he's going to get into knitting and crocheting, that sort of thing.
That's the source of his wealth, which he eagerly burns to make kebabs.
Now we're going to switch to the questions of Slipmat. It's 12:14. My God, we have to get through these questions, and then we have to quickly do some
rapid
giveaways.
Fire round.
Okay. Slipmat has here. Will we ever see Anket make a detour and head to Crucia's plane of air with the comet to bring the battle to her?
It depends if we do the plane of air again, but we'll do other planes first.
Okay. If that ever happens, will there ever be a chance of us being able to pick a side as mercenaries? We either fight for Crucia or Anket?
The last time we put mercenaries in the game, everyone just complained and complained and complained.
No. This is the players becoming mercenaries for one side or the other.
The last time we put mercenaries in the game, everyone just complained and complained and complained.
Hey, Tacitus has added something there. Here's a hint. King Carr should not be considered a guide of good life choices.
I believe that follows the text.
Oh, dear. Expanding on that, it could be designed as we play a Crucia mercenary, and then at the end of the storyline, we can betray Crucia and return to Anket and play through the quest line. You could do the same if you picked Anket. Betray her and turn to Crucia. See, Slipmat's not letting this go.
Okay, no, Slipmat.
Okay.
That was indeed planned out, not exactly that, but something like that, and it had to get cut for time. But who knows? Maybe we'll have the time to do it again.
All right.
Because I already got the VO.
Devastron has some stuff here, too. These are the last set of questions, then we'll do a giveaway. Are the elves descendants of the Tuatha?
Yes.
Or were they created by the gods, or some mix of the two?
They are descendants of the Tuatha.
Okay.
Elves and Kalari left and pursued either more a different tradition of binding or fealty to the gods.
Okay. Here's. Thank you, Devastron, for asking this one. Is there an origin for the dwarves yet? I think I read they were created by the gods to build things and were given sentience later as a reward. Some of us want to know.
Well, when we find out the dwarven thing and we play through it, that would be a more engaging experience than just having me talk about it on stream with an outrageous accent.
Is there an origin for humans on Talara? I haven't seen a hint of that anywhere.
Humans never get an origin, do they?
They're just sort of there.
They're always there.
They're there.
I slipped out of character.
Sergeant Dimples, you're totally banned for saying dwarves came about from a Bommy mating with a goat. What an insult to goats everywhere. I mean, really.
The origin of now I got this.
Sorry. Humans are so boring, they stripped away your character. I mean, that's what happened.
No, humans and other mortals of that ilk could totally get an origin story. But again, it is something more that I would like to build forth. They are native to Talara, though.
Okay. That's interesting. Devastron continues, we've now been to the plane of water and seen sizable chunks of the plane of fire and plane of life. But what are the other three planes like? We got slight hints of the planes of death and earth in some raids, but I'd love to know more. And we really have no clue about the plane of air. I thought we did.
Plane Touched Wilds was air touched,
yes.
But it is not necessarily
the plane of air.
The plane of air.
Yep.
We have always had plans for these things. There was going to be. I would take a lot of Crucia's stuff as endemic of what the plane of air would stylistically look like.
Okay.
But we're going to wait until we visit them.
Okay.
Because that's more fun.
And actually, there was one here. Oh, yes. Yukiyami has asked, are Bommy great horse or Vayu men as their cultural inspiration?
So the answer is yes. But I will never get the week of R&D I spent trying to put Bommies on mounts without necessarily making it a engineering task, which at the time I was not budgeted to have. So I would have loved to have made riders. I tried to make them riders. Canonically, all the horses died.
Okay, all right. And why are Bommies so large?
Because they are. I mean,
best answer ever.
Because they're not dwarves.
Ever. Okay. And this is the last question, and then we're going to do giveaways. When the Bloodstorm was killed, it was shown that their power wasn't destroyed, but went elsewhere.
Yes.
In the Dendrome, we killed small dragons that were supposedly imbued with their power, and Tassuil is the new dragon of the Plane of Life, and we know Mailforge's power is being fought over, or was fought over in the Plane of Fire. Does this mean that the power of the other dragons is still out there, and that they may all come back in different forms?
Yes. Well, maybe that they don't come back, but their power may rise again in different forms.
Okay. All right.
Because then you can kill whoever it is.
All right. It's time for giveaways, people. You do not have to X up. You do not have to X up at all. All you have to have done is said something, anything in the Twitch chat channel within the last 45 minutes since this stream started, okay? If you haven't said anything, then go ahead and put an X in there. But I mean, put something more exciting than an X, really? Actually, yeah, something is good. Oh, we will need?
Oh, it ran the unstable artifact.
Okay.
That's why I haven't been having things. It's been running that.
Because it's been running the unstable artifact.
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. All right, so apparently you do have to say
free
something.
march.
So, okay, there you go. So please do say something. Like when? Now? Cole's looking at settings over there.
Mead.
Yes, you can say mead with as many E's or A's as you like.
In fact, I believe that's the only way to win, right?
Say mead.
If you say X, you don't enter. You have to say mead.
I'm pretty sure you can have X. I always find it, how did the Hellbugs get to Talara? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I know.
We might have to do giveaways in a different way because our extension is broken.
Mon Dieu!
That is the work of Lathus.
Yeah.
Okay, Lathus has screwed us all over, so we're really, really sorry about this. The fastest thing... Okay, so you're going to have to figure something out for the Trove stream, because you know they like to give away like 800 magic carpets. Alright, so instead, we're going to have to do it this way. All these people who sent in fantastic questions, every one of you guys is going to get a Moose-Dantix Power Pack. Alright, and if you already own a Moose-Dantix Power Pack, please give the code to somebody else. So unfortunately, because our tool is broken on the channel, I can see that most of the people who sent in questions are actually on this as well. And as we close out our stream today, we want to thank you for watching. Sorry about the giveaway tool being broken. Hopefully they can fix it in between streams.
Did you want to know how Hellbugs got here?
Yes, I do want to know how Hellbugs got here. And then we've got one closing question for you.
Okay. So Hellbugs, they obviously Mailforge came to Earth after the events in Defiance, and he destroyed it, and he took the Hellbugs back to the Plane of Fire with him, and then they got to Talara, therefore making all of the Rift worlds canonically in the same universe, including Trove.
Okay, that's great. That sounds good to me. All right, and then the final question from an unnamed person. Before I say this,
Unnamed?
Yes.
Is that like a friend asked you to ask this?
A friend from out on the floor in this building. Can you please ask, what is Atrophinius' favorite drink? I've always been curious.
It's coffee.
Oh my god.
It's his secret desire for coffee.
Okay, I want to see that in the next iteration of Atrophinius.
It's already in here. You
Is
must
it?
play through Paladane and resolve all the glitches from the Sun Orb.
All right. Thank you guys all for joining us. Next week, we should have some cool stuff for you.
Mead!
See you next week. Bye.